Hi everyone. Looks like I got a mask on my face this morning. I'm on my way to work. I thought at the beginning of last week I was going to have to take off this week again to be with my mom, but I'm proud to announce that she is doing fantastic. Her shoulder is healing really nicely. She got the staples out a day last week. I believe it was on Wednesday of last week. But the past 2 weeks have just been really an amazing time. First of all, spending quality time with my mom, which is always fun. And second, just, you know, watching her go from seemingly completely helpless to finding her independence again, which is amazing, because, you know, when you lose your independence, that does something to a person's like psychological health, I think, and especially if they're aware of it. So she, you know, she had a little bit of a more, I guess, saddened tone to her voice whenever this whole thing first started out, and now she's more, you know, bouncy and more, acts more alive, I guess, is what I'm saying. So, on Wednesday, she was still needing my help to get in and out of her sling. She has to be in a sling for 3 weeks. And I don't know, like Thursday and Friday turned a corner. Like, she was able to get in and out of her sling. She was able to wash her own hair. And on Saturday, when I went to stop by and see what she needed done, she had her dishes done. And she hadn't been able to do, you know, hardly any of those things whenever I was there over the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I was like, woohoo! Kudos! So yeah, it's nice to be back to work. I felt like I was missing something, I think, a little bit. Not completely. But you know, when you have a regular routine and that's obscured for a little while, it's kind of hard to get. Sometimes it's hard to get back into the routine, but sometimes it's a relief too. It's almost like a welcoming mat, saying, "Come back, we miss you." So anyway, but yeah, I thought I'd drop in and let you all know that, you know, all is good so far. The exercises that she's doing is really, really far blows my mind on someone that had a complete, you know, brand new shoulder implant, you know, put in your body, and you're able to move like that. Surgery isn't what it used to be. I mean, when people had surgery, you know, years ago, before all the technology, I know they couldn't move as well, because I've seen, you know, my grandparents having replacement knees and stuff like that, and they couldn't do the things that you can today. And it's just kind of cool to see how far we've come on that respect, because, you know, the recovery time is much smoother than it used to be. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it is it seems weird, like I'm going to work. I haven't done that for 2 weeks in a row, and it's weird. So, I probably have so much to catch up in. When I'm gone for a day, I think I counted one time, I think I get between 125 and 175 emails in one day. And I've been gone for 2 weeks, so can you imagine what my inbox looks like? It's probably crazy, like, woo! So, the first thing my boss will say to me is, "Good luck catching up." You wouldn't think a library would be that crazy, but it is. When you're dealing with college students and lots of things are going on, dealing with collections and just the facility itself, a lot comes in. And I get a lot of spam too, so a lot of that is spam. But you still have to look at it. I mean, I gotta get rid of it at least. So my inbox is probably a little nuts. I cheated throughout the 2 weeks and I got rid of spam as I was out, so it won't be as bad as I just said. But it could have been if I wouldn't have had internet or anything. So we will see. And I don't have a baby with me today. I thought about bringing one, but I had a bunch of other things to carry, so carrying a baby on top of that would have been a little extreme, I guess, this morning. So, Callie is getting close to getting her license. She has an appointment this Thursday, and it will be determined probably Tuesday or Wednesday whether or not she's going to take the test on Thursday. Her last lesson was on Friday, and the guy wasn't happy with her performance. I wasn't happy with her performance. I was in the car with them, and she just, I don't know, she didn't have her game on. I mean, she was on the interstate, and she was just kind of all over the place and just very, not really completely reckless. She just, I think, was overwhelmed. I really do. And so we did some interstate driving this weekend. Like, I was taking her all over the place. And she did great for me. I think the guy that is giving her lessons, he intimidates her a little bit. He's a little on the gruff side, and he just has one of those personalities, you either love him or you don't. So he was kind of a hard pill to swallow for me, even. But I can relate to anybody, because I'm very well versed in in the personalities that are out there, and I can adapt to any personality and talk to them and be friendly with them and everything like that. I mean, anybody can do that, but I'm aware of all the personalities because I've had so much training in customer service and you know, one-on-one conversations, group conversations. Like, I'm going through trainings all the time as a manager. That's what I do. So I get this stuff pounded in your head, and you just know. So I'm easy to get along with anybody, pretty much, and it doesn't matter. Even if I don't like them, I can get along with them, kind of thing. So Callie, of course, is very green in that area because she's 17. So she either likes you or she don't like you, kind of thing. And yeah. But yeah, her performance was bad. And I told her, I said, you're not going to like what I have to say. And, because he had her leave the car so he could talk to me privately. And he was like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know, unless I see some major improvements. I don't know that she should be taking this test on Thursday. This week, Thursday. So, he's not sure. And I said, I hear you. I do. I said, I don't know what happened today. I said, she drives great for me. He even questioned whether she got all of her hours in because of how she drove. And I said, to be brutally honest, I said, we didn't keep track of her hours, but I said, we drive every week, and, over the course of 6 months, driving every week, I would think you get 65 hours in, right? Yeah, most likely. So, I guess it depends on how long you drive each week, but she drives, the minimum amount of time she drives is 20 to 30 minutes each time. So if you figure that out over the course of 6 months, it's been 6 months, you know, she probably has her 65 hours in. I just think, you know, she just wasn't on her game, like I said. She had a bad day at school. She had some bad news earlier in the week that was affecting her. I know that's not an excuse, and I didn't even tell the guy that, because I thought, if I tell him that, he's just going to be like, well, that doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter, you know. When you're driving, when you're behind the wheel, you got to be focused on what you're doing. And you got to let your emotions not get the best of you, kind of thing. So, and I explained all that to her. So hopefully, in time, she will realize that. You know, kids never, like, I don't know. Kids never, like, to me, my kids don't ever get things the first time I tell them. I usually have to tell them, you know, several times the same thing and catch them, you know, doing things right or doing things wrong, and, you know, tell them, like, you're letting your, because on Saturday she got upset about something. I said, there, you're doing it. I said, you know, you gotta shake that off. I said, you gotta focus on the road ahead and everyone else around you. And I said, what you're upset about right now doesn't matter. Not at this point. I said, you can go home and be mad all you want, but I said, not now. And she, of course, got even a little bit more mad at me. But I left her in the car because I had to go into a store, so she was parked. She had time to think about it. And when I got back out, she did not have that attitude anymore. So I was glad of that. Because I didn't know what to expect. I thought she's either going to be really mad when I get back, or she's going to calm down. So, anyway. And she gets upset over the silliest things. I mean, she's a teenager. It's like, ugh. You tell them something and they're, I know. It's like, no, you don't know. If you knew, then you wouldn't do it wrong. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. So, anyway, kids. Can't live with them, can't live without them, I guess. That's why we have babies. They don't talk back. So, anyway, so yeah, I think, in my personal opinion, I think she'll be ready by Thursday. I just hope that she's not in one of her moods and she's able to handle it. Because, you know, it'll prove whenever he tallies up the points. Because he said he doesn't make the decisions. He said it's based on a point system. And so if she gets too many points, I think it's like backwards than what you imagine. Because I think he was telling me he had to fail a kid because he had 100 points and you can only get 30 points to pass. That's the most amount of points you can get to pass. And I'm thinking, well, that seems backwards. 30%. That's not good. But yeah, that's how it works, I think. That's how he was explaining it to us in the car. So, and I don't know what the points are, like, you know, failed to signal, or you don't stop at a stop sign for 3 seconds. I don't know. What does that mean? Is that 1 point against you? Is that 10 points against you? Like, how many times can you mess up before you're given the axe? So we'll see. I'm gonna determine the cutoff either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna see how I feel about her driving during one of those 2 days. And then, because he told me I could call him, you know, Thursday and say, hey, we're not going to do it, scratch her off your books, or, yeah, let's go for it, and let's give it a whirl. So we'll see. Keep our fingers crossed, our eyes and our toes. Cross your heart. So, anyway. And little Goldie, that girl, she got in trouble over the weekend. She's going through the same phase that Callie went through when she was her age. And we have a data plan. We don't have, we have the means to have unlimited data, but we choose not to because it's an added expense. And my husband and I don't use data that much. We use Wi-Fi almost everywhere we go. And data is just one of those things that, to us, is still not something that we feel we have to have. So, with that being said, our kids are on our plan, and Goldie used way over her data allotment. Luckily, we had carryover data from the previous month, or she'd have had us go over our data. So yeah, she got in trouble, and she was really not happy with us. And I had to have that conversation with her that, you know, this was all you. We had nothing to do with it. We just caught you, you know. I said, if we didn't have caught you right, you'd have felt okay about what you were doing. And she was like, no. I said, well, this is all, you know, the decisions you make affect everything in your life. So she's pretty mad at herself. But of course, I felt that wrath a little bit from her because, you know, I think she's mad at me too. And her dad, because we took her phone from her for a month. And that is a big ouch for kids because they just are attached to their devices. Like, it's part of their arm. It's like cut off part of her arm. She's not doing well with it. And she never has. She never has done well when we've taken her devices. It's always been this painful, oh my gosh, I can't focus or I can't live. And you can, right? You can. It's okay. And she's talking about streaks that she needs to keep up with. And I had to ask her, what is that? Apparently that's something they do on Snapchat, where they send out a post. It's a picture of anything, and they say in there that it's a streak, I think. And then all of their people that follow them streak back, or maybe they're streaking individually with people. I don't know. These fang-dangled things these kids do, right? I don't know, but anyway. So, alright guys, I'm going to head out, I think. I will be back hopefully with a baby soon. I want to get back into the nursery and get, you know, back to normal swing of things. And I don't know how easily that's going to be done. It depends, because we have to go driving every night after work. So, I might be doing car rides this week. We'll see. So, alright. Have a great day, have a great week, and I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Oops. Bye-bye, guys.